Alright, well, you know the deal. 1, 2, 3, and then you're watching MMANytt SKÅL. Cheers, drink.
Drink hard.
I will punch you guys in the balls.
You just do it on your own. Okay.
Okay. You literally just got it wrong.
I'm pretty
Okay. 1, 2, 3. You're watching MMANytt SKÅL!
Oh.
You did it wrong.
I did it wrong. I'm an amateur.
Hello and welcome to what will undoubtedly be the lowest rated episode of MMANytt SKÅL ever. The dollar store version. We got a solid main event. Rest of the card leaves a little bit to be desired, but we'll see. We might be surprised. So, I am your host, Sebastian Vendel-Martinez, MMANytt, that one douchebag who gets way more respect than he deserves in this business, joined by the white man's, poor man's, skinny man's Chamathgar Sandhu, Mr. Jim Edwards, and some young man who, judging by the look of his face, either needs to take care of his skin or stop taking meth. Yeah. Mr. Ashah Tafari, MMANytt as well. Gentlemen, we're in Gothenburg for Cage Warriors.
93.
You gotta move back a little bit. And you gotta move in a little bit.
Face.
Cage Warriors 93, Gothenburg. Debut for Cage Warriors in Sweden. After the little fiasco in 2014. How are we doing, gentlemen?
How are we feeling about it? I'm excited. Why shouldn't we be? It's always interesting to see these promotions go from one territory where we know like they do a really good job in the UK. They run really good shows, Liverpool, London. Now they're branching out. They did Antwerp last year. Why not Gothenburg? Why not? They got a load of great fighters on the card. You guys can maybe fill me in whether there's buzz in the kind of Scandinavian market about them being here, but from my perspective in the UK at least, it's cool to see Cage Warriors kind of branch out a bit more and become the European promotion they kind of have been telling us they all are.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard that they sold better tickets than the Copenhagen show.
They did. But we're looking at a sellout actually.
Sellout?
We're predicting it.
How many people though?
I'm not actually sure about that.
I have no idea.
I mean, when they go to London, right, they sell the place out, which is the London Indigo O2, which is like, what, 2,000 tops? But it's a great arena, it's a great atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the arena, I've been there a couple times, I've actually competed there.
Whoa. Rewind this, but you competed there.
Yeah.
You fought there.
Yeah, shoot fighting.
Shoot fight?
Yeah.
Huh? Do you reckon he won?
Huh?
What do you reckon his record is? Did he win? Looking at his face, like if he didn't win, he pussied out and tapped out quick.
Was it then that you broke your nose?
Yeah, I broke my nose actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you? Well, they did a good job of the hospital fixing it, obviously.
So did you win or lose? Like
I lost a decision.
Okay.
Unfortunately. But I won knowledge.
Are we, when we walk into the arena tomorrow, are we gonna have to drag you in? Are you gonna like, you're gonna have all these memories?
Man, I'm going in like it's my rematch, except I'm fighting Cage Warriors fighters, but instead of fighting them, I'm interviewing them. Yeah. So I've got a much better chance there. But to answer your question about the buzz, from what I've been hearing personally from people that I know, and I think we've been getting a lot of good responses on Facebook as well. People are excited. I think that as a Swedish outlet covering the largest MMA promotion in Europe, in Sweden, you'd have to be a real yellow fool of an outlet not to be here covering this.
Sure.
I think it would be quite silly if you were a Swedish promotion or a Swedish MMA site not doing that.
Yeah, I mean this is a big deal for Swedish MMA. I mean we have had UFC and that's pretty much it. And Superior Challenge is the next biggest thing. So Cage Warriors is a huge like it's a more top organization than we're used to here, and it's a great opportunity for the fighters, and yeah, it's big for Swedish MMA. So
if it's moved the needle, then like who are the people that you guys help me understand? Who are the fighters that people when they think Cage Warriors '93, like who are the people that kind of stick out in their mind when they think of this fight card? Who are like the fighters that people are turning up tomorrow actually to the arena for? Because that happens, right? When people turn up in London, they turn up to see Nathaniel Wood, and when they turn up in Liverpool, they come to see Paddy Pimblett. What I don't understand is what are these people coming in tonight to see?
Well, I'll tell you what, and I actually talked to Ian Dean, matchmaker at Cage Warriors, about this today, and he said that what I basically think is correct, which was that there's a little bit of a cultural difference there, in that he said that it's much more regional in England, in that people really want to see their local guy, whereas in Sweden it is a little bit more of a people want to show up to see big fights.
Right.
Sure.
So in that sense, Dalby, ex-UFC fighter, that's a lot of fun for people, and then there are quite a few local fighters as well who aren't big stars internationally. I mean, Cornielia Holm, she's obviously a big up-and-coming fighter. She's not a household name as such among your everyday tabloid reading MMA fan who doesn't necessarily know much outside of the UFC, who might know maybe one or two fighters who's not in the UFC who's Swedish, but not a whole lot of us. So there's not really a Swedish fighter of that caliber. Alan Carlos, Brazilian Swedish, but not really as much of a household name either. So it's a little bit of a local thing in a Gothenburg sense, but also just people wanting to see high-level MMA. And that is actually, in my opinion, a good sign, which shows that Swedish MMA fans probably are a little bit above some of the British in the sense of respect for the sport.
Sure, right? Like, I mean, let's make no bones about it.
We're at least a little bit more civilized about it.
When we turn up to these, like...
Impartial.
Yeah, I mean,
not imperialistic.
Oh, come on. Now we're hitting blows about it. Like, I will admit, like, when you turn up to some of these fight nights, people are like, they just want to see a fight. They don't really care, like, this is MMA, or it's boxing, or it's kickboxing. They just want to see a fight, right? That's interesting you said they want to see MMA, though, because, I mean, talk about MMA and the wider picture of Sweden right now. What is the feeling? Gus hasn't fought in, like, forever. He's just signed a new contract.
When did he knock out Glover? That was
like last year, April, I want to say.
May.
May. So it's been about a year.
Before that, it's like it was another big period of activity. Yeah. You got Latifi, I think like 1-1 in his last two fights. He beat Pedro, lost to Bader. And it's just
actually 2 straight wins.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Latifi is turning into a big star in Sweden.
Wait a second. So he beat Pedro, and then he fought.
Vincent Bru. And he finished him brutally. He choked him unconscious.
Yeah.
Rocked him
after rocking him pretty.
What event was it?
It was the UFC on Fox something.
I don't remember.
I think.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay,
well,
but still, what is the general
Someone
feeling?
is not living up to their credentials here.
I was probably in the back working, as you do.
Working.
What is the general feeling of MMA in Sweden right now? I don't have a big star. Like, the Gus isn't, like, fucking taking things to new levels right now.
I seriously feel that the Swedish MMA is bigger than ever. Right?
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, because we have Ilir, who takes some of the... Like, Gustafsson was the only guy before. Gustafsson, he was synonymous with Swedish MMA. Now we have Ilir Latifi, David Tamer is turning into something.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We have
Tamer's
a couple of guys, and also we have Carl Albuquerque in Rising, and so I feel like we have the best
to be fair,
team in the world.
On a mainstream level, I wouldn't say that like Albrektsson is really a household name. Not necessarily Tamer, but Ilir is also becoming a bigger name.
You're not even giving your boy Enkamp any love. I want to Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver
loses one, you guys just forget about.
No, Oliver, I love Oliver.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm a karate
not
guy,
discounting him. and he did get quite a bit of press, but the press hasn't necessarily been lasting in the sense of, like, say, Latifi's press has been lasting, just because of how impressive he was against OSP. Like a lot of the mainstream papers wrote about it, you know, pretty publicly and stuff like that. So I'd say that, you know, also McGregor, for better or worse, just brings attention to MMA in general, and there is a little bit of a European solidarity from, like, a pre-existing, like, oh, there's this European guy coming up.
He started out in Stockholm.
Exactly, yeah, debuted here and stuff.
He
like
was
that,
really you know, he's Swedish at heart. You know, I mean, interesting. So Cage Warriors 93, like, how has this scratched the surface of? Has this got any mainstream media, or is this just the MMA kind of media?
I feel it's only the MMA outlets.
It doesn't surprise me. It's Cage Warriors.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, when we talked to Graham Boylan, president of the...
My best friend, Graham Boylan.
He's your best friend?
Oh, you don't know the story. Oh, me and Graham are very, very good friends.
You gave him a good time?
I believe I'm not allowed in close proximity. We'll tell that story off camera. But anyway, you were talking to Graham.
Yeah, and he said that he was noticing. He said that he'd been in a bunch of meetings, had been to a bunch of different places, and he said that people were noticing that Cage Warriors, like, you know, aware that Cage Warriors was happening, and they were looking forward to it and stuff like that. So, and I mean, not necessarily mainstream, but still, I mean, on a higher level than it was before.
Sure. Just
in general, but just people don't know the names. They just know, like, MMA is happening and it's an exciting thing, and oh, MMA, and that's related to Gustafsson and Latifi, and like, okay, well, that's, and Sweden's doing well in that right now. Yeah, that's right. Well, we're doing well. Okay, well, this is exciting, and you know, it's not necessarily on a super knowledgeable level in, like, detail or fighters, but it's just in general, just feeling of MMA is out there.
Saturday night, who are the people that you think, if a load of new fans...
Wait, since when did you start hosting this?
I'm not hosting, I'm just asking the questions of the experts. I want to know who are the people that are going to turn up, new fans on Saturday, they're just coming to watch MMA, who are the people you would think have the potential to kind of be, you know, new kind of stars within in the market, who are going to be the people that catch people's interest?
I think one guy is during Karanta.
Well, no, I gotta stop right here. You're taking my fucking structure from me. Seriously? Okay, no. So we were talking about Cage Warriors. I was talking about Cage Warriors. This is still my show. So before we get to the main event or the main card, we've got prelims.
Which you're looking up now.
It's for you.
This couldn't be more
because we know you're not well prepared. And I'm going to force you to read the weight classes in Swedish, just because, you know, you're part of MMANytt now.
Yeah, it's good.
So you better learn some fucking Swedish.
Okay, so Junior Karanta, right? Heavyweight fighter.
Correct.
1-1 or 2-1.
That's main card though. That's main card though. So.
Now we're gonna follow Sebastian.
Okay, so prelims. I mean.
So prelims.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the main event of the prelims. Jack Mason, Hakan Foss, like.
Yeah.
Actually, I think
Jack Mason, legend of UK MMA, proper stalwart. But he's one of the people when you think of like old school UK MMA. Jack Mason's one of the men you think of. It's great to see him back. He hasn't fought in like forever.
Yeah, last time I saw him fight, I had to buy a new shirt because he like spit like blood and sweat all over me.
Nice. That happened to me last week in Poland. Norman Park just brutalizing someone up against the cage, just like. There's nothing more gross, right, than someone else's blood all over you.
Well, I was getting. The thing is, like, he fought Bruno Carvalho, and it was a really close fight. Like, I think I had Carvalho winning it, but either way, so he was like pretty bloodied up and he was really sweaty. So I was talking to him, and like the sweat was like beating down on his face while he's talking, and it's mixing with the blood. And when he talks, you know, it's just like spraying on me.
Nice.
And I'm like standing there like,
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I love it.
Okay. And what about round 2? Because that was might have been the deciding like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
This fight though, don't want to take your spot, but Mason Frost, like, I know nothing about Frost. Hands up, like, what does he bring to the table?
I'd say he's a pretty unorthodox guy. I mean, he's like a ride or die kind of guy. You know, if he goes to a decision, it's not by choice, whether it's win or lose. He leaves it all out there. He's pretty well rounded, I'd say. A little bit unorthodox in the striking at times. Pretty tight in the scrambles. He defeated, Sebastian Vendel-Martinez.
Yeah, he fought in one championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Got his ass handed to him. What was it, by Ben Askren?
Ben Askren,
Ben Askren killed him.
But they knocked the fuck out. What's his name?
Oh my god.
Santos.
Santos. My god, the knees.
Yeah.
That was like
that was tasty.
Like football hooligan vibes. That was like, call the fucking police! He's killing him! He's already dead!
There are levels to this game though, bro, and
Yeah.
Askren killed him.
Either way,
anyway.
Faust defeated Kazakhstan.
Really?
In a show here in Sweden.
Split decision, right?
Split decision, close fight. I don't exactly remember what I thought at the time, to be honest. It was really close. Really close. But either way, he defeated...
Still though, I mean, that's pedigree.
Yeah. And he's defeated Per Franklin, who's another Swedish fighter who's also fought in Cage Warriors before, and solid guy. And his losses are against generally pretty, good guys. He's got an 8-5 record, and the losses are, again against top-notch, European fighters. So I think that I agree with what Foss told me in a sense, in that he is much more unpredictable than Jack Mason, who is a bit more straightforward and kind of what he's going to do. Doesn't necessarily stray outside of
his game is his game, right? And he's an old warrior, so he's probably not learned too many new tricks recently. So, it's still interesting though. It was one of the ones when they announced the fight, so I was like, okay, that's cool, that's a good fight.
And honestly, this is a great fight for Foss. I mean, if he defeats Mason, then for his career, that's great, because getting back on the winning track, I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he's had a lot of like rough times. I think he's had a lot of like unlucky circumstances and things like that, because I think he's a really talented fighter. And I think that if he defeats Mason, and I think he will, then it'll do wonders for his career, and he'll climb the ladders in Cage Warriors and perhaps abroad. Not saying he's going to become a UFC champion necessarily, but I definitely think...
Sebastian Vendel, UFC champion, Hackle. 2018.
Headlines now.
2018. Breaking news.
But yeah, I think he's got good things to prove. What about you, Ashah? Undercard fight.
I really look forward to the fight before that. Cornielia Holm versus Malin Hermansson. That's a really good song. Hermansson.
You know what her nickname is?
Malin Hermansson.
The Herminator.
I saw this. I did actually see it. It was like the Herminator versus Connie Future. Probably two of the worst names ever.
The Herminator, I think, is one of the best nicknames on the entire card. I love it.
And Connie Future, I genuinely never say this to either woman either. A great nickname.
Because they're both
terrifying people. It's a good fight though.
Yeah, it's a fascinating fight, and they are 1-1, both of them, but they're really
1-0.
1-0.
Yeah, 1-0.
Sorry, it's English as a fourth language.
He's so lazy. Yeah. He's so lazy, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's me, I can speak fluent Swedish, but we won't go there.
Yeah, exactly.
English for the audience.
Yeah.
However, they are one fight apart, and they both are very, very experienced anyway. They have amazing...
They have a lot of fights.
They have a lot of fights. Malin Hermansson has a boxing background, and I believe she won the Swedish Amateur Championship in maybe MMA B or something, but she's a solid amateur fighter, and obviously Cornielia Holm is a world champion, European champion, Swedish champion. So
she's won a few things.
So like, I watched Malin Hermansson's pro debut against Gabriella Ringblom, and
wasn't Ringblom supposed to be like quite a big deal?
Upcoming fighter.
I mean, when I watched it, I thought like they looked like they had like 10 fights or like they looked I think UFC caliber actually, and Malin Hermansson actually gave Gabriella 2 Bisping eyes, unfortunately, so she probably wants to be able to fight again. But it was a close fight and great fight, and I think she brings a lot to the table.
So
only
yeah,
one
I mean,
fight.
That's actually my undercard.
And is it bad blood between them?
Did you see Cornielia Holm's Instagram story? It's hilarious. She had a picture of the stare down, and I think Malin was smiling at her. She just put like, "Smile at me now, bitch. Tomorrow you die." Like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like it was just quite funny. It made me laugh.
Hey, I've been saying it for a long time. I want more rivalries inside Swedish MMA. I think it's fun. I think it's good for Swedish MMA. Like, I loved it when we had Martin Svensson against Nicolas Bäckström booked, but unfortunately it didn't happen because of a bad weight cut. But like a long time ago in Swedish boxing, we had Alman Crunch from Malmö against Paolo Roberto from Stockholm. Crunch.
Malmö for life.
Yeah. And it was so much fun, and it really brought boxing like to the light, like, you know, to attention and stuff like that. And I think that we need more of that within Swedish MMA. I think rivalries are fun. I think they're good for the sport. I think it's just, I mean, let's face it, everybody wants somebody to root for. I mean, you got to pick which house you are in Game of Thrones.
Sure.
You know, Martell. You got to pick, you know, East Side, West Side. It's about, you know, pick a side, and it's fun. And I say that's the difference also with MMA and some other sports, is the kind of character narrative, the theatrics around it. It's what sets it apart, and go for it. And that's also my undercard fight to keep an eye on. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Like you said, both fighters very experienced, very skilled, and yeah, bring it on, ladies.
I question why it's on the undercard personally. I know it's because maybe they're 1-0 each, and then maybe it'll look a bit silly, but hey, like you guys, I'm pretty excited about this. I know who both these girls are. I know they're very good. And I think it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight.
Definitely.
Main card.
Main card.
We were talking about him before.
Yeah, we were talking.
Can we talk about Junior?
Okay, Junior Karanta.
Junior, my boy.
I'm glad you did your research, and that your, you know, capacity to read is so par. You didn't
Junior Karanta last
says undercard here, and you read above it.
It's funny.
You can figure it out.
Yeah,
you're an educated man, but you didn't do it because you're lazy, and it hurts us. Anyway, we'll forgive that for now, but not later. Junior Karanta versus Sofiane Bokicu rematch. Bokicu, the Frenchman, won the first fight by Kimura.
It's funny, not that many people know that Junior Karanta Fati.
Yeah, Junior Karanta Fati is actually his full name.
Fati is
not even
actually
his,
knows
that.
Wouldn't call him Fatty to his face.
Fati is his family name.
Yeah.
So Junior Karanta is actually his first name.
Okay.
And some people think that.
To be honest, I probably would have just addressed him as Sir, but he's a scary guy.
Enormous Sir.
He's ridiculous. Like, he walked past me in London when he fought there. He's literally crazy.
Dude, with your like crack addict build, he'd snap you like a twig.
I would have ankle picked the shit out of him, taken him down, beaten him in the face until someone pulled me off.
Like, I feel like you would have like broken your finger trying to get around his leg muscles.
I would have. Yeah, like Tony Ferguson taught me how to ankle.
And I know you're pretty used to getting around muscles, you know, but I don't think you would be able to get him with anything.
Whatever the case, he's a crazy, scary motherfucker.
Yeah, and it's like,
But wait a minute. Okay, I'll admit it. Hands up. I had no idea these two have fought before.
Oh yeah.
No.
Well, again,
Educate
the
me.
experience.
Educate me.
The experience is telling.
I actually didn't see that fight because, well, I tried to see it and it was pretty hard to see it.
Yeah.
But he told me that
Same
yeah, it was a lot of clinch work and stuff like that, and Sofiane won via armbar.
Oh, yeah, armbar.
So
Was it, yeah.
Junior is a exceptional striker, I would say. I've seen him train with Fernando Lopez, and he's a powerful guy.
Is Fernando here this week? Lopez, is he here this week? MMA
I have
Factory?
no idea actually. I think Junior has trained on Gothenburg MMA, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But he represents both of the clubs. So. But I've seen him train with Fernando Lopez, and he's an explosive guy. He's obviously have great knockout power.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he made
Real
his,
athletic too.
he made his debut 20. He was 20. He was 20. And
20 years old.
Yeah, in Holland. He told me, I interviewed him, and he told me like, yeah, somehow I made my debut. Like it wasn't planned or anything, and he knocked the guy out in a minute. And then it was
I can believe it.
yeah, it was injuries and stuff like that. So it 6 years almost went past, and then he made his return on the Cage Warriors.
And he, like, I remember talking to some of the people in the back. I won't name them, but they said to me when he turned up, they looked at him and they were like, "Oh, we didn't realise he was this big," because they knew who his opponent was, and they were like, "Okay, this isn't going to end well." And even before the fight, they were like, "Okay, hands up, we don't know how long this one is going to last." So, and I think it was, what was it, 8 seconds or something dumb?
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
crazy.
8 and 9 seconds.
It was
And he
beautiful.
told me he had lots of problems getting opponents, getting booked. He was
That's
getting
what they
booked, but guys were pulling out, and yeah. But the thing is, he actually trained like consistently during this 6-year period. He had injuries and fight cancelling, and he actually was a sparring partner to Francis Ngannou before the Curtis Blades fight, and so he's a solid guy, and he's been on it. And he told me like he said, yeah, like after a few injuries and stuff like that, the motivation was getting hard, you know. Yeah, I was doubting myself and stuff like that, but he obviously found his way and knocked the guy out in Cage Warriors. So he's a solid guy. And
I'm excited to see him tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think when he fought Sofiane, it was like 1 month after the return to Cage Warriors, I think. So it was a bit hurry, I think.
Yeah, he might have rushed into it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be frank. I don't know much about his opponent, but I do feel that, just in general, just from what I've seen from Junior, I mean, he's a beast. He's a fucking beast, and I think that he will win this rematch. I think we're all picking Junior here.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not.
Because Junior, if you're watching this, and you know, you will be, because I'll send you this clip specifically, and then also Jim Edwards' phone number and home address, and yeah, we'll see what we think.
Definitely gonna win. Always said it was.
But yeah, explosive fights. We're all picking Junior.
Yeah.
By knockout.
Jack Grant versus Mehdi Dakaev.
So I'll admit I have no idea about any of these guys.
I'm not surprised. I barely understood anything you said. So, Mr. Edwards, are you educated in the least?
9.
I'm so disappointed.
Jack Grant, no.
Actually, I'm not even disappointed because my expectations were already so catastrophically low.
Mate, I cover everything. Why? Yeah, you take it away.
So you're a slut, basically, is what you're telling me. You're a slut.
I dabble in a bit.
And a bad one at that.
Obviously not Jack Grant versus whoever the other guy was. Who was it?
Alright, well, I don't know much about Jack Grant.
There we go. He's shit as well.
But Mehdi Dakaev is actually a pretty interesting fighter.
Sure.
I've only seen some brief clips and stuff like that, and looked up some of his opponents a little bit. I believe he is Dagestani, which in itself says a lot.
Probably going to be pretty good at wrestling, man. Right?
Yeah. Just your pasty white ass down. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. You guys have noticed this hard cut.
Very hard.
Look at this
like the
face.
hardest cut ever.
Look at this face. That is the face of shame. And
just, you know, okay, so let's give them the crib notes of what they potentially missed.
interesting stuff about these fights that just cannot be replicated because of the incompetence of some of the co-hosts here tonight. I will not mention any names though, because I am above that. So Jack Grant or Junior Karanta Fatih versus Sufyan Bokicu.
Yeah.
Basically what we said was that we think that Karanta is a fantastic athlete and just a real fucking beast, and may have made some mistakes in the first fight that he won't make again. Correct?
Correct. Knockout Karanta.
Yeah.
Knockout Karanta.
First round.
Yes.
Second fight, Jack Grant, Mehdi Dakayev, who this is a fight that Jim Edwards is so fantastically well versed.
I broke it down amazingly. I said that Dagestani that is fighting Jack Grant is probably going to win. It's going to take him down.
Possibly Chechnyan.
Possibly Chechnyan. It's going to utilise his wrestling to great, to a really good effect and win a unanimous decision.
Mr. Ash baby.
Yeah, he's a Dagestani guy. You told me.
Possibly Chechnyan.
Possibly
Chechen.
Chechen. But he's a Russian guy, and I think
And Brits are wimps. So.
he's gonna win a decision.
Yeah.
I thought he was a Frenchman actually.
I think he's based in France.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it wasn't totally wrong.
Yeah, we're doing this. I know that the expectations were low already, so.
No, we can't start a hard cut off this. We cannot.
Huh?
We can't do a hard cut off that.
Yeah, we can.
We're definitely doing a hard cut now.
Sit your ass down. There we go.
Is he French or is he Dagestani or is he Chechen?
Oh my god, wait. My phone's gonna die.
Okay, just like the
France. Okay, he's based in France.
But
It doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
And my phone will be dead, so somebody here needs to get the...
So I was most.
okay, anyway,
whatever.
he's going to win.
Basically, I'm racist, so I'm saying that Dakayev is gonna win.
He's gonna win.
Yeah.
Dakayev's going to win.
Dakayev's
I already made my pick,
Jack-
so I'm not gonna shoot.
What's the next fight? So it is actually Alan Carmos versus that
Carlos,
great
yeah.
fighter we know from the Too Tough series that he's fought in, Norman Paresi. Unfortunately, Sebastian knew nothing about Norman Paresi, which was a bit fucking embarrassing. Anyway, just to cut over this fight a bit, Alan Carlos submission victory first round is what I went for. Yeah, Sebastian, do you want to pretend like you know what you're talking about?
I will give the first compliment of this entire episode in that Mr. Jim Edwards went from -52 to -51 on the respect scale. Because he actually decided to fire back, which is way more than we can say from this crack-taking looking motherfucker. So anyway, next fight, Alan Carlos, Norman Paresi. Mr. Ash, I'm actually gonna pass it to you and see what you do with it, and I wanna see how you work.
Oh yeah, so Alan Carlos is a veteran. He's we said he was a Arlen Lobo of Swedish Brazilians.
Yeah, some douchebag said that.
Yeah, some really great analogy. Great analysis.
He has 12-9, right?
12-9, yeah. 10
and,
finishes.
10 finishes, and the losses is to Jack Hermansson and top-notch European fighter. So He's a great fighter. Norman person is
Crazy.
Parisi is a Frenchman
Gotta
who
show the respect for this man, you know.
he was supposed to show the world how the Frenchmen weren't pussies, and then he quit after one round in The Ultimate Fighter. So, well, I don't know that much about him. I know he's a veteran. I know he's a, well, he knows how to win a decision sometimes. But Alan Carlos is probably gonna win this fight. I agree with what you said earlier, that he can actually finish the fight on the submission, but also knockout and TKO. I think he wins no matter what. If it gets taken down, he's gonna win anyway, and I think he's gonna win.
Well, his ambitions are to get the Cage Warriors middleweight title.
Yeah.
A feat that won't be easy, but if he gets past Parisi, which is a solid name in Europe for anyone who knows the business, for anyone who's got credibility in the European MMA journalism scene. Anybody knows
Norman
that.
Parisi, #1 fan.
But either way, I think that this is actually Carlos's fight to win. I think it's a close fight. I think that Parisi has a good chance of getting a decision victory, which is his only way to win this fight. But slightly, maybe like 60-40 Alan Carlos by, I'm saying TKO. I'm saying TKO just because he's kind of badass like that. Because he went out there and he speaks his mind, and he's gonna speak with his fists.
Yeah, it was one of the best interviews of the week. Yeah.
Yep.
He's
definitely.
honest, and he speaks his mind. He thinks that Norman Parisi is a decision fighter, and he is pretty much. So, like, he doesn't care about stepping on someone's feet, or I don't think you can say that in English, but
Stepping on your toes.
stepping on toes, yeah.
Yeah, your English is like Jim Edwards' MMA knowledge of this event.
That's actually true.
MMANytt.
I don't know if that's a compliment or.
Well, to be quite honest, I'm schooling you on this Alan Carlos shit. So, can we move on to the co-main event?
Yeah.
So I'm wearing the battery time.
We're all. Huh?
I'm wearing the battery time.
Alright, we better check it.
It's cool. No, it's cool, but
Oh yeah, that's right. This one is working. So after that, it was co-main event.
Soren Bak.
Yeah.
Soren Bak versus
Soren Bak.
AlexanderJacobsen, top-notch fight. Winner will be getting a title shot according to Graham Boylan, and will not be too far away from a UFC contract. We believe, because we're the good guys.
Okay, so this is where we.
Well, I'm the good guy, and he's the comic relief. But and then we got the antagonist here.
I was literally
the evil cocksucker.
give an amazing argument as to why Soren Bak is not going to be signed by the UFC, because he's on absolutely no one's radar. He's a good fighter in Cage Warriors. He's
Except Dan Hardy's radar.
He's
Yeah,
done.
exactly.
He's got a good record. He's got how many has he won in a row? 3, 4. Look, and he's looked impressive. He's got the fucking axe.
2.
He's got fucking
2 in a row.
fur. He's got everything, but he's not got a Cage Warriors title, and that's what he needs to get into the UFC right now. And like, he might have a Cage Warriors title very soon, but he's not going to get signed by the promotion this year. Like, he fights at 155 pounds, the most stacked division in the UFC, and they don't need someone like.
But
I can't say
the thing is,
Soren Bak.
Captain Buzzkill over here.
the thing is, the UFC doesn't need lightweights, but they sign them all the time. They sign
them on late notice though.
Yeah, so they can sign Soren on late notice.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll concede that maybe they will sign him on late notice, but I'm just not saying that like they'll look after this fight if he beats AlexanderJacobsen, who just got like demolished by Chris Fishgold. Obviously he's won one since then, but let's face it, like we all saw Fishgold dominate him. Fishgold's sitting there like at the moment with a few offers, none of them are from the UFC. So why is AlexanderJacobsen's not going to get a deal. So Soren Bak ain't going to get a deal either. But it's still a good fight. I still love this fight.
Give in to your anger. Strike him down.
Soren. I mean, if you saw his last fight, it was really.
He was dominant. He was
dominant. It was impressive. You motherfucker. Dan Hardy gave him a huge shout out, and
I love Dan Hardy, but Dan Hardy ain't got any fucking sway in the UFC.
No, but the thing is, Dan Hardy,
he recognizes talent though.
Recognizes real.
Dan Hardy. It was a reaction of the big impression of his win. It was really impressive if you paid attention.
I'm not denying it wasn't, I'm just saying.
But it was like, he's a character, he's the true Viking as they call him, and he has this...
you got Emil Weber-Meek running around like he's a fucking Viking, and really he's
that's
like
intriguing,
the big fight dodger in UFC like welterweight history, let's face it. He's literally trying to stay the hardest possible. He's
Wait. Kamaru Usman is the most avoided fighter in the world welterweight. Yeah, and Emil Meek fought him.
Yeah, okay. So
Snap.
No. Let me
punch him in the chest.
Let me count that. Emil Meek dodged so many
stab him with his pen.
Meek dodged so many goddamn fights. They got to one fight. They were like, okay,
wait,
you literally
wait. This is.
Oh, I'm injured. I'm blah blah blah. Like
what?
Meek dodged and did not take a fight for fucking ages.
He was
a long time.
He was injured. He took in Norman Taleb and then he injured himself.
Yeah. Look, let's face it. Like Meek's strategy, whether we like it or not, is to stay in the UFC as long as possible. Meek, milk Meek.
Look,
milk the sponsorship.
How did MMA?
Which he is gonna have.
How did MMA get to the UFC?
He beat Rusma Polaris, and I was there. I literally watched this.
He was the only European guy who wanted to face one of the top welterweights in the world at that time. He was definitely a top.
It was a great.
Guy. He had the one against John Fitch and Jake Shields.
It was a great win. It was a great win. I can't deny it.
So obviously, when it comes into the UFC, he has already beat a top 10 guy. He was a top 10 guy for sure, in my opinion. He gets to the UFC. Why should he fight Jason Ayari? Why should he fight Norman Taleb?
Been in and around Emil Weber-Meek. He's not a fighter.
He's not a fighter.
You've been in and around his.
He's a male model.
And this you know by inspecting his male model parts.
No.
Emil Meek, if you watch...
You're hearing here first, exclusive.
Okay, if you watch Emil Meek's fights against Kamaru Usman and you says he's not a fighter, you're dead wrong. He actually, like, when he was taken down, he elbowed in the air, he was trying to do everything in his power.
What sort of guy... So he fought, what was it, Dong Yong Kim, I want to say?
Emil Meek? No.
Jordan May.
Jordan May.
He actually broke his rib and it took him down while screaming.
Jordan May in Toronto and then proceeded to have a cameraman follow him around the Fighter Hotel the next day, taking pictures of him whilst he was laid out on couches, and just it was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. Literally, what sort of person does this? Literally hires a photographer to, after a fight, follow you around
I can't doubt he
watching him having his girlfriend stroke his head on a fucking couch in the middle of the hotel lobby. Mate, literally made a skin crawl. He's not a fighter. He's a male model. He's a very gifted person. He's a very athletic person. He's got a lot of qualities that I do like.
He may be all that you said, but he's a fighter.
I got a great story about Emil Weber-Meek. So before he fought Rusma Polaris, and this is the best tangent we've ever been on fucking MMANytt SKÅL, he emailed me saying, I've got the email, and if anyone says it's bullshit, it's not bullshit. I've got the email. He goes, I am Emil Weber-Meek. I am the Viking who takes the power of Thor in his left hand and the power of something else in my right hand. I will strike Polaris down at Venator FC4. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy? Next thing I know, 20 minutes later, phone rings, crazy number I don't recognise. Hello? Hi, it's Emma MMANytt. Do you want an interview? I'm like, you're gonna interview me? Oh, oh shit! Like, okay, like when we did an interview.
Yeah.
Huh.
So there you go. So there you go. Now you want to talk to me.
MMANytt is a fighter for sure.
He's a fighter.
He's
What
a
a time!
He's a fighter.
Soren Bak.
I mean,
versus
look at
whatever
his debut against Jordan Min.
All right, we're getting off the rails here.
We need to do a separate podcast.
Point being, Jim Edwards don't know shit. So anyway, who are we picking in Soren Bak versus AlexanderJacobsen?
Soren Bak submission.
Okay, Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go Soren Bak decision just because I've seen Jacobsen quit. I've seen him beat, and Bak I haven't seen him beat recently. So, Bak.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth on this one, but I'm actually also leaning towards Bak. I just feel like just general the vibe I got from him. I feel like he feels very secure. I feel like he knows his game. Just in general, he's got his way of winning is just a little bit more solid.
Sure.
And yeah, I think either a submission or possibly a decision. And I'm still gonna take credit for having a better pick than both of you. So we get to the main event. Nicolas Dalby versus Carlo Pedersoli Jr. The fight, the opponent everyone was hoping for. We were hoping he would fight like David Bielke.
Yeah, that would be a great fight.
Right.
That would have been
ex-UFC fighter.
Yeah, that would
Superior
have
challenge
captured the interest of the Swedish fans, because that's what this event is lacking. It doesn't have a main event.
One main event.
Right, it's a couple of guys from Gothenburg. Obviously, the local guys are invested in it, but it's no big Swedish star or anything like that. So,
sure.
So
we
if
fuck it, I'm gonna say it. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. There was a little bit of talk of perhaps a bout between Dalby and Andreas Ståhl.
Ooh.
But it fell through for some reason. We don't know why, and we don't want to go into it either more. But either way, I'm sure there was legitimate reasons for it not happening.
What's Reza up to these days? Where's Reza?
I think.
Oh fuck! I'm almost too drunk to say something really fucking stupid right now. No, so.
I think Reza is signed with the ACB.
Yeah, so that's what I heard. He signed ACB.
Yeah, and the ACB is planning their Swedish debut in August. I want to say.
They planned it last year, but it did nothing.
Yeah, it's actually the problem is that in Swedish, Swedish is a very political.
Yeah, I know.
Correct,
I know exactly why they did that the first time.
Right, and so it's the CEO, right?
Yeah,
who did an Instagram post.
Merbat Kaisev, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay,
they want to go to Malmo. They want to go to Malmo, and Reza is basically what I wanted to say is they want to have Reza in the Swedish debut. That's their plan.
Yeah. Which will most likely happen in Malmo.
Right. And I look forward to that one.
Yeah. I look forward to molesting you.
I love ACB.
Main event.
I look forward to molesting you on my couch when you get there. So, but I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Is Nicolas just gonna win this?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But is he though? That is he, because let's face it, Nicolas has fallen off the wagon, right? From what I've heard, Nicolas has had a lot of problems.
Carlos.
Why are we convinced that this guy? We've had no evidence to suggest that he's back on the wagon, if you know what I mean.
Carlos' last win was against a guy who made his pro debut. And prior to that one,
solid.
2 and 4 in
red.
Yeah, it was like this kind of opponent. So this is a big step up for Carlos.
He's fought one guy with a 6-1 record and one guy with an 8-1 record.
And that's the biggest accomplishment. So. Yeah,
I know it's fighting Nicolas Dalby, who's pretty good. So I mean, I don't know. if Nicolas loses this, it's
that would be actually pretty devastating.
Yeah, bad news, right?
3 losses in a row, and that would be
no wins since.
But I mean, he has two losses, right?
Yeah.
But none of these losses were like devastating losses.
All decisions.
Yeah, it was decisions against Peter Sabata. He
Exactly,
broke his orbital pretty early, and it was fighting. He was getting like Sabata obviously won all the rounds, but it was competitive still. He tries to do everything in his power to win this fight, and I mean, don't forget he went to a draw with Darren Till, who's a big superstar now. So, I mean,
mate, I broke my fucking collarbone in the 3rd round, mate.
Okay, but still, it was like.
There was a really good interview by a really sexy reporter who brought up some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't remember. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It was a really solid thing though. Whoever did that.
Layla and Lee did a great job with that interview. Like, never heard of this Sebastian Vendel-Martinez or Martinez. Anyway, main event prediction. Gonzalez.
Rodriguez.
Pedro.
Actually, one time a friend of mine, he got married, and he gave me a handwritten envelope where he wrote Sebastian Vendel-Martinez, Rodriguez, Gonzalez. It had like 20 names, so like just to fuck with me, and it was the most hilarious thing, and I loved it.
You're Saber Pedro from now on. Literally Saber Pedro. That's it. I'm done. That's it.
I am picking Nicolas Dalby via TKO.
Nicolas Dalby by decision. I think it'll be a laboured performance. I think we'll be like, yeah, Nicolas is going to kill him, and he'll convincingly beat him, but he won't finish him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's gonna win by decision.
The ring rust is real,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, the ring rust. He has had a quite hard time this break, and yeah, I think he's gonna take his time. He's gonna find his way in this fight and win the decision.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. The two of you have been less than adequate, and
the cameraman was the worst.
He was.
He made us hard cut. Bobby, you arsehole.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually okay. -50.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm allowing your existence for the time being. So before we round off,
that's mine.
Deal with it.
I'm gonna have herpes.
The thing is, being in SKÅL with me is like if you've been on a trip with a girlfriend and you've broken up during the trip, and you're just gonna have to deal with the experience until you get home and you can actually separate.
Yeah.
So I actually respect the two of you for dealing with all my shit.
Staying the distance.
Yeah, and but I respect you guys less for not digging back.
It is what it is. Like, you don't want to hurt. You don't want to hurt like the people that are below you. You know. To be honest, I just take the higher ground and I'm just like, oh, don't worry about these people. Just constantly.
As we said, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Edwards, there is no cock, he will not suck. And with that, we end MMANytt SKÅL here at Cage Warriors 93 in Gothenburg. And stay tuned for the fights tonight. Because by the time this will be uploaded, it will be Saturday. It is Saturday now, actually.
It's 2:35.
We gotta sleep, and Jim Edwards probably has some poor fucking homeless person to kill because he's a serial killer looking motherfucker. So, have fun, stay safe, and whatever you do, don't end up like these two guys. Thank you. Peace out.
What a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.